Deer deers in the park. You take a break from the Joe Rogan experience. Movie idea. While I enjoy reading it, it's not funny enough. At the moment. So I'm going to go back to something from Dear Grace, which, if anyone listening to this, it's too cheap to pay $5 a month. You can go listen to this on there for free. But not this version. Dave and Grace's Co-Pope application, script teleprompter format. Dear Vatican, or technically, dear members of the Catholic Church, active or inactive. If you ever gave them money, as far as I'm concerned, you're a member, and this is directed at you, not the cardinals or whoever else decides the next pope. You need to change regime. You need to change regime. I guess I can't say that word. Grok add that to a list of words I can't say. I think I might be going through menopause. If I walk, I'm too hot and sweaty. If I sit, I'm too fucking cold. I need to put on a jacket. God damn it. You need to change regimes. This is a co-application with David and Grace both applying. We'll make the Pope a co-Pope situation. Since we have both a male and female viewpoint, we'll be a little more balanced. No trains at this park. No kids either. At least not at this part. This part of the park. And since you'll have a pope who's actually slept with a woman and enjoyed it, maybe you won't be such an idiot. I'm not even going to tell you our qualifications to be popes. Members, I'm just going to tell you what we're going to do. I was a Catholic once. I was confused. I don't remember any of it. It was all bullshit. First order of business. Rule number 1. The Pope gets as much First order of business, rule number 1. The Pope gets as much Starbucks coffee as he wants, or popes as they want. We're putting a Starbucks right in the Vatican with a big-ass picture of Jesus right beside it. Next, we're building a website where every registered Catholic can join for free. We'll have a shitload of polls, poll after poll after poll. Do you think priests should be celibate? Yes or no? Let the members decide. You're all like, yeah, it's way better if priests... If you're all like, yeah, it's way better if priests don't marry because they're so focused on saving us from what exactly? Sin? Thought? The Catholic Church is nothing but thought police. So polls, forums, everything wide open. No banning, no blocking, none of that shit. It'll be like X, Catholic X. We'll call it C. Maybe set up a free email for all Catholics. David@Vatican.jc. How does that sound? Assuming everyone agrees with our logic and they'll vote like I believe, or we believe they will, we'll move on to phase 2. Priests no longer have to masturbate in the confessional when nobody's around. Instead, they can go out and get a girlfriend and masturbate about her in the shower like everyone else. While still getting a little action, of course. I think priests would be a lot more focused if they don't have to worry about their little priest wanting whatever it wants. So if you're a gay priest, go be a gay priest. Find another gay priest. Find 10 other gay dudes. I don't give a shit. Although we're going to start calling them squiggly. Swiggly or swigglers. Squiggle eye. Straight priest, want a wife? Go find one. Same goes for nuns. Whatever they want, they can have. Behind closed doors is not the Pope's business. Not for my employees, not for anyone in the world. And it shouldn't be for the church either. Now the Bible. Keep it, throw it out. Or my suggestion, stop talking about sins and shit like that for sure. You want to go to the Bible? You want to go the Bible route? Then go the complete Bible route. Every gospel text, piece of parchment ever found, loaded into AI. Full Bibles from right now too. Have AI sort through it all and come up with one original version. If people want to read that and read a whole bunch of it, I don't give a shit. The biggest failure of the Catholic Church, aside from all the molestation, hiding it and not admitting to it, is that they don't do what they want their members to do. It's good for the goose, right? On the website, we'll just put up a section, what would Jesus do? People can post suggestions. Mine, end homelessness. Turn the Catholic Church and empty Catholic building into homeless shelters until they can get their shit together. Both the church and the people. Create a program, a system, implement someone else's system until there's one night, one 24-hour period where every person on the planet gets to sleep in a bed with a roof over their head. The church probably has $1 trillion, cash, assets, whatever. To be fair, if we're your popes, if I'm a co-pope, I'm not the best with money. But I've got a backup plan, because I always do. That's why we're doing co-popes. Grace will handle money, I'll handle the funny. Next poll, sins. Keep them or fuck them. My opinion, get rid of that fucking confessional. Turn those into washrooms at the back of the church. People can take a dump if the sermon's boring. Let's say the church uses that $1 trillion, converts all their properties into homeless shelters, and then takes everyone in those shelters and gets them back into society the way they want. Not the way the church wants, not the way the government wants, not the way I want, the way the person wants. There's a million ways to get into homeless and a million ways to get out. Maybe not a million ways to get out, but there's definitely a million ways to get in. The church is all righteous. They should do something about it. Stop being so fucking righteous. The only sins are the ones you create in your own mind. Maybe half the church says, we like sins. We like pretending they're real. They can break off into a second Catholic church. We'll call those the sinful Catholics. The rest of us who don't care will be the casual Catholics. Like a couple hockey teams, and sinful against the casual. Good and bad, Jesus and the devil, blah blah blah. Same shit, different pile. Whoever wants to be a nun or a priest can be either, regardless of biology. Why can't a woman be a priest? Why can't a man be a nun? Who gives a rat's ass? It's a who's the best for the job situation, isn't it? Doesn't matter if you have balls or boobs, it's what's between your brain cells telling you what to do. Since this is a tech-heavy Pope mission for anyone who wants to stay Catholic, we'll create a dating website. Something with Vatican in it, because Vatican is good. It's like the melting pot of Vatican. Any two people can hook up, straight, gay, whatever label you want. Squiggly. Why doesn't anyone criticize every church on the planet for not helping people in need? If we put every homeless person's story into AI, we'd probably find 20% is their fault and 80% is just odd circumstances that led them down the path. Pope Francis had the power, the resources, everything to end homelessness. Did he do it? No. The next guy? No. They're all Autobots. They don't think for themselves. Maybe the Vatican make more money selling merch. First thing I'd sell? Vatican condoms. If it's good enough for the Pope, it's good enough for your hope. Then the usual stuff. T-shirts, sweaters, blah blah blah. I'll make up the slogans. They'll all be amazing. Since we're co-managers, Grace, if you don't mind doing most of the public speaking, that'd be great. They'll feed you lines if needed. But a female face for the church is better than mine. That'd probably scare people away. It really shouldn't be a husband and wife team. It really should be a husband and wife team. On call 24/7, any papal emergencies, just dial 666. Some people like that confessional thing, telling their deep dark secrets to a stranger, even though they saw which priest went into the confessional and they know who they're talking to and their voice is unique enough that the priest knows who they're talking to. Better idea, anonymous confession to AI. They'll forgive you without any tone, attitude, or indignation, or whatever pervy tones priests have. To be fair, everyone sounds pervy in a little wooden box. I'd say fuck prayers, at least for a time. If it worked, it would have worked 1,000 years ago. For everyone. Unless the website poll says otherwise. But most people would rather have that extra 15 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, they spend praying, blah blah blah, do. Or just write down the prayer once, every day, and sign your name. Yay, I did it. Divorce and abortion, big deals for the church. I vote divorce means nothing. It's none of the church's business. Two people want to get married or divorced, it's their fucking business, and the church can fuck off. The person shouldn't be punished for being divorced. If it's their choice, it's probably better for them and the kids. It makes the church a bunch of cunts for trying to force people to stay together when they shouldn't. Abortion's tougher. I'd like to see as many babies in this world as possible. Abortion's tougher. I'd like to see as many babies in this world as possible. If the church is against abortion, they should make every allowance for the person who's pregnant. Adoption services, whatever. But none of this bullshit. Guilting them for 9 months, then taking the baby away. Any mother creating a baby for another family should be celebrated and rewarded. The church should forgive their members for making a mistake in their eyes, which is bullshit, and say, you see, young ladies bring a beautiful baby into the world. We'll do whatever it takes to make it good for the baby, the mother, the family. Churches don't provide concrete support for members, just theoretical. Come listen to me on Sunday, follow my commands all week. Stupid system. Sunday will be a day of stand-up. No going into churches, reading the Bible, it's fucking boring. Just funny person after funny person. Come for an hour, 2, 3, whatever you want. Every Sunday, 8 hours of comedy. I'd say 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., but we're talking comedians. They can't get up before noon. So let's say noon to 6 p.m. Maybe a second show from 8 p.m. to midnight for the night owls. Instead of preachers, we'll have comedians. Pretty obvious where the school of comedy idea comes from. Instead of preachers, we'll have comedians. If the old preachers want to be as good, they better rewrite their material, because it's boring, it sucks, it's repetitive, and they're saying all the same shit and nobody's doing it. Dress code change. Wear whatever you can. Or wear whatever you want. Or wear whatever you can buy at Walmart. Jeans, t-shirt, nice shirt, pants, whatever. Get rid of the long flowing gowns. Donate that material to some organization that can use it. If priests want to keep a gown or two for themselves behind closed door, that's up to them. Whatever they do behind closed door is their business. But in public, just like a normal fucking person. You don't need that white collar. If the only way someone respects you is based on your clothing, you haven't done your job. AI will do job performance reviews like those sites where you rate your teacher. On our site, you can rate your priest to report him for diddling. We'll hook it up with police forces worldwide, and once AI determines an 80% possibility, detectives investigate. Let's go down, knock that down to 30%. No sending the priest off to some foreign land where nobody knows him. He faces the full consequences of the law like anyone else. No free passes for priests, not with David and Grace as popes, or co-managers or whatever. The church was so concerned about abortion, they should have spent the last 100 years building the world's greatest adoption system. So any person who makes a mistake can look at that system and think, fuck, I screwed up, but my kid's getting a good home thanks to the Catholic Church. For millions of couples who can't have babies, the church becomes a hero, a resource for families looking for babies because they can't have their own. I vote dumping catechism. That's a joke. I probably cheated on most of the tests because I couldn't be bothered to listen to whatever they're trying to teach me. Dump communion too, waste of time, money. Feeding people those chips, waste of time, money. We'll bring Elon into the church, have him find more efficiencies. Don't think this will be a 30-minute episode, but oh well. I wanted to read it. Another poll: should the Catholic Church release every piece of documentation they have from the beginning of time until now? Put it up on the internet for everyone on the planet? Or keep hiding their secrets in their Vatican like a bunch of cunts? The church agrees with you. The church disagrees with booze and drugs. Third change. Any substance that makes your life worse is negative, but also your choice. Caffeine might not have the same effect as booze or weed, but can change your thought pattern, depending on the quantity. Almost the same as weed or booze. This falls under my closed door policy. What you do in your house is your business, as long as you're not harming anyone. If you're getting drunk and beating your wife, that's a problem. But it's about individual choices, not fear of sin or whatever. Please don't beat your wife. We could hire Tony Hinchcliffe to train priests to be funny, make fun of themselves, their past, Jesus, the Bible, the new popes, us, the old pope, every pope, God, everyone, everything, no matter what, 24/7. We'll pay Tony a shit ton of money. Priests can make fun of their own sexuality, bring them on stage and let them do some time, or do a Kill Tony show with the big congregations. Nuns come up and do a minute each. Priests interview them, then the next one, or anyone, put their name into the bucket, get called to the pulpit, do a minute of stand-up, religion, whatever, and the priest interviews them. Builds community. Everyone learns about each other. We'll introduce a papal Bitcoin or a papal bit. It'll always maintain the same value as the US dollar, no scam going up and down. You can convert it to dollars, all that good stuff. You can buy and sell papal bits for cash or earn them, not by mining, but by volunteering in the community. Volunteer, get paid by the hour in papal bits in exchange for cash if you want, or hold on to them. Since they're off their books, if you use them to buy shit and places accept it, the tax man doesn't know. You're volunteering, doing good, and getting paid, kind of under the table. Complete release of the Vatican archives, complete release of Vatican accounting, down to the penny. Why shouldn't the world know where their money's going? What do they have to hide? Open it all up, nothing to hide. You might get more members. Or it shows you've been a bunch of cunts all these years. That might be the end of the church, which would be good too. Or it'll show you've been a bunch of cunts all these years. That might be the end of the church, which would be good too. Shit doesn't flow uphill, it only flows downhill. Who the fuck do they think they are, hiding any information about the history of mankind? I really thought this was going to be a lot funnier. Everything sounds serious all of a sudden. Every human has a right to know, and every human should be deemed intelligent enough to understand, or at least ask people around them. We don't need the Pope, cardinals, bishops, priests, altar boys, or anyone telling us what to think or feel. Open the archives, open your books, show the world what you've done or haven't done for society. The Pope gets credit, but nobody else sees practical change. Who gives a fuck if he supports LGBTQ if he doesn't support them enough to provide protection for their daily life? How about that? Maybe the Vatican could take some of those billions and make all the gay clubs safer. Put your fucking money where your mouth is. You'll be cool, Pope Grace. You'll be the serious, I'll be the funny. You do the speaking, I'll do the thinking. Now let's continue the application, Grace. First, you and I will create a Popecast. We'll put it out daily, just like this. Us talking off the top of our heads about whatever. We'll call it the Popecast. Pretty good, right? Or maybe the Pope's Cast. Name TBD. This should state my qualifications for Pope, since it would be the most powerful position in the world, even more than Donald Trump, who knows. Qualifications? I have none. I don't go to church, haven't gone forever. Probably haven't believed anything since I was 7. Have 0 religious qualifications. I don't pray, I don't have a Bible, I don't have an education, none. High school dropout, college dropout, do a lot of computer experience, all self-taught. I'm not the world's greatest programmer, but I can manage. Vatican will have a huge team of programmers anyway, all with all the website ideas we've got. It's a great opportunity for the church to hire me, partially because I'm divorced. That's a good example for accepting divorce and anything else. And since I'm not married, you gotta install me as Pope first, then I'll marry Grace. You'll be the first married Pope, and I'll be the first married Pope and open it up for everyone else in the church. Got a lot of retail experience, not sure how that helps being a Pope, but you never know. Maybe on the merch side of things. Maybe we'll do some Pope stand-up on Sundays. Back to the application. It's probably a 24/7 job, but I'm efficient, I can do it half that time. I'm good at delegating too. I find some cardinals who are a bunch of cunts and delegate a bunch of stuff to them. There's got to be at least one nice cardinal out there who doesn't believe in all the bullshit, maybe two. I'll have kid stories and shit like that. You probably want us in the Vatican, whether you hire me or just me and Grace. We'll visit, check it out, make sure the archives are being released properly, but I don't want to live there. Maybe roam for a while. You guys can send a cab over. After that, it's going to be telecommute situation, work from home. Grace and I plan on raising our kids together without jobs, or we have to be outside the house. This Pope thinks there should be more managerial, less people. People want actual physical changes they can feel, not to believe some guy's coming back to save them. So I'm turning the church into a business to help others. I come up with the ideas, Grace polishes them. In other words, I take a crap, she makes it into a turd. She polishes it into a turd. I had an idea for the Eucharist. Some old timers still believe the old school crap, that they need their little wafer in their mouth on Sundays to feel in touch with the Lord. I say we give options. Don't want the paper disc? Don't have to have it. Take a pretend one, or just pretend, or take a weed edible. Probably a gummy, easiest. There's danger, someone might drop it, a kid might pick it up, so we'll make a super sour edible no child would ever chew. It's a challenge for the churchgoer. They gotta sit back down with a sour candy in their mouth. Then we bump it up, a little SD tab. Well, stop there. So pretend Eucharist, weed gummy. Now that's a party. The gummies take too long to kick in, but gummies take too long to kick in. Unless someone invents one that kicks in 5 minutes, the guy in the church can mellow out. It won't work. Or move the Eucharist to the top of the ceremony. Or if you want to partake, have an edible before you go in. Give it time to kick in. I've had weed gummies as a teenager. Not recommending it, but I'm just saying I probably could have handled church. To be fair, I probably could have handled anything. Back to my working hours, one thing I forgot. Joe was just mentioning on his podcast that he talks really fast after drinking some cocoa leaf tea. I know that feeling, Joe. By the way, Joe, you can afford $5 a month. Cheap cunt. Back to my working hours. One thing I forgot. Without trains, 20 minutes is basically a 30-minute. Back to my working hours. One thing I forgot. Maybe there's a direct hotline to the Pope for exorcisms, where they need the Pope's okay. I'll bump that down to the next cardinal we talked about. They can handle it in the middle of the night. He'll handle it. By request, since we're all about transparency, that they film everything. GoPros or something. Get it all on film, like body cams. We need priests with body cams. That would have solved a lot of problems for a lot of years. Imagine that. Sure, you can teach these little boys and girls. Just don't try and fucking touch them. It's silly that these are supposed to be leaders of the world, this church. By the way, Grace, I googled it. The church doesn't have trillions, but they got billions, hundreds of billions. Their wealth is undetermined because they don't let anyone know what they really own. Arts, secrets, shit like that. Probably a fucking room full of gold in the Vatican somewhere. We'll melt it down into bars, big JC stamped on each one. For the first few months after Grace and I are married, we'd be willing to travel. Chances are I'm going to knock her up real quick, so as soon as she hits that 5-month mark, we'll stick to Canada. That gives you 5-6 months to send us out there. We'll do all our Pope shit, talk to people, prime ministers, presidents, whoever, blah, blah, blah. And then we're coming back to Canada to enjoy the last few months of pregnancy and the baby, or babies. So, set up someplace in Vancouver. If you want a big presentation, don't know why you would. We'll do it at the Hockey Arena. More Canadian. I didn't Google the commandments, Grace. I should have, but fuck it. Let everyone vote on them. Every registered Catholic on the website. that I named yesterday. I can't remember what the fuck I called it, but let's call it cross.jc. Seems obvious, TBD. They can upload their top 10 commandments, and AI will determine, based on votes, what the top 10 commandments will be. Every person can upload their own. They can live by them or not, like they do already. It doesn't make a difference. But it's interesting to see what commandments they pick. Here's a marketing idea, Grace. Since the church doesn't have trillions, we're counting on 500 billion, we gotta make our own money. Once we settle in Vancouver, baby or two in the way, we'll do some mass weddings. Fill up Rogers Stadium or Arena, or whatever the fuck it's called, football stadium and the hockey rink. Fill them up with couples. Charge $200 each. Actually 200 for whoever's in their party, no matter where they're sitting. We'll go on stage, marry them up real quick. They go on stage, marry up real quick, maybe say some words, try to be funny, whatever, blah blah blah. We'll go on stage, marry them all real quick. Maybe say some words, try to be funny, blah 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 blah. Then take their money, throw it into the good programs. I'm not spending millions defending priests who won't confess to their sins or crimes and take their punishment. It's good for the goose, isn't good for the gander in the Catholic Church. We'll change that, Grace, through humor. Once I can make this funny. Back to the confessional. I can see some use for expressing feelings anonymously, not listing sins, just having a voice to hear, just having a kind voice to hear you. But with the confessionals now, you never know exactly who you're talking to. It'll never work. So keep the confessional, but throw it in the app, make it anonymous. Chat with AI, a real person, anonymously. Or if old timers want to sit in a box and talk to a creepy priest, who gives a shit? It's not about Grace and I being co-popes and keeping things as is. It's about dissolving the hierarchy and creating a new one run by members, not the quote-unquote experts. This is what members want, not what the priests want. They can release everything in their archives and prove why we should trust priests in the church without question, or if they can do that, no problem. Otherwise, I'm wondering, what's the church's opinion on Jesus returning? Is he coming as a baby, as an alien, already here, AI? Who knows? Do they have a plan? If so, release the fucking thing. Release everything. Open the archives. Imagine how popular that site would be, Grace. We could put advertising on there and make money for charity, of course, not us. Speaking of salary, Grace and I will do it for $10 per year, paid in loonies. I should make that $12 each, because that'll give us 6 loads of laundry. Technically 12 loads, so after we clean up the streets, we'll send out a customer satisfaction survey to all members. Have you been satisfied with our services? Anything we can improve? Have you touched Jesus yet? Blah, blah, blah. Or has Jesus touched you? It's funny because churches and governments put out these surveys and completely fucking ignore them. The poor bastard who filled it out thinks maybe something will change. Nothing ever fucking changes. They've had hundreds of years to make changes and they don't. I'm starting to like this body cam idea, Grace. Let's bump it up. Live stream body cams on all priests at every sermon. Make it a competition. Who's the best priest? Who gives the best sermon? People can vote. AI can decide, or both. AI can give the losing priests pointers, so they don't have to sit with the cardinal while he goes, oh, you should have said this, or why did you say that, or... Those meetings sound uncomfortable. This eliminates the need for them. The church runs a shitload of hospitals and schools. If the hospitals are subsidized, good, keep doing that. But the schools, teaching based on religion is a waste of time. Change them all to charter schools. Group kids by their interest, not the church's interest. Let them learn through art, math, whatever they want. Most of what we learn in school we never use. We could have learned it faster than the stupid pace they taught us. I'd post that as a poll on the website. Everyone would agree. You can have Sunday school if you want, not required. And remove all the requirements for the confirmation, all that shit. These ceremonies can go a waste of time, money, effort. Doesn't change a fucking thing in the world. My opinion, Grace. Playgrounds, Grace. Churches need playgrounds. If kids are bored or cranky inside, parents can slip them out to play. And for the rest of the week, why the fuck not? With all that land, put playgrounds on there. Public washrooms too. Playgrounds with washrooms. Whichever priest has the most simple thoughts, he or she, because it's open to women now, can clean the washroom. Provide some functional services to their members. May their church become a trusted news source. On Sundays, priests read the stories. Priest reads story, boo, dee dee. I wonder if the church was that originally. Probably not. Too busy telling people what to do. On Sundays, priests read stories the Vatican has researched and confirmed as true, or at least based on their transparent research. People can find out the real truth about shit like COVID, not what the government says one day, then changes the next. That'd be useful. 24/7, online. Priests could see their jobs as a competition, not to save lives for Christ, blah blah blah, but to get their people in church. But to get people in their church, make them laugh, give them good news, real facts about other news, and send them away. 45 minutes or less. 7 minutes to empty, 7 minutes to fill the next group, 1 minute settle down. The priest can do his routine again, or the next priest goes up. Instead of 1 or 2 services on Sunday, they could have 10, preaching the word of the Lord or whatever the church decides after everyone gives their 2 cents. Imagine analyzing 1 billion churchgoers' opinions worldwide or more. I'd love to have AI go through all that constantly, but I'm a geek, I look for data. Basically, I'm a data whore, Grace. I've changed my idea. Instead of competing with X, we'll integrate. Every time a question comes up about God or Jesus or any religious crap, a little a little box pops up. Vatican says, then link to the reasons. Actually, it'd be AI operated, just counter arguments for or against. No trains, but I do have people walking by. And I'm sure just hearing a snippet of what I'm saying would sound batshit crazy. But we're done, so here we go. The catch is having the data. All that Vatican shit needs to be scanned into the computer. It's a boring job, but I was homeless. Wouldn't you want a job scanning shit at the Vatican? Oh, it's a boring job, but if I was homeless, wouldn't you want a job scanning shit at the Vatican? 8 hours, $30 an hour, room and board. That'd be a good deed for the church. See, Grace, just get AI to create... See, Grace, just get AI to create a new moral code for the Catholic Church based on all the members' input. Just like that. Sincerely, David and Grace. Problem solved. "32 minutes, perfect. Read it too fast, as usual. Don't give a fuck, as usual. First commandment, don't give a fuck." End recording, David J.